Good morning and welcome to the Art of Fire. It's time for another Facebook Live demonstration session for you today. I'm Bruce Ferguson. I'll be narrating for the most part and shooting the video for you. So let's start getting some folks in here. I'm not seeing anybody yet, but I talk to myself quite often. So anyway, what we've got today is creating patterns in blown glass. We're going to do some decorative work for you today, and I'll show you what's going on here. Right now our agenda is to have what we call a Fishnet Bowl. Josh will be doing that. Then hey, we've got 3 viewers already. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America and all the ships at sea. But nobody out there is old enough to remember that one, are they? Okay, and then we'll have a diamond optic rondelle. The diamond optic mold is a really cool thing to work with. Oh, Marion, good morning all. And then we'll have a bubble vase. This is not the kind your kids played with soap in the backyard. This is something completely different. Then we'll have an optic tumbler with the fin mold. I'll explain that later. And Bruce's question mark. A bunch of you have been asking, who's this Bruce guy? And they've shown me once in a while. How can he have been here 21 years and we never saw him at the Ren Fair? That's because I was always here holding down the fort and teaching and whatnot. But I'll make a little piece for you today. So anyway, that's our agenda. Let me give you a preview of some of the pieces we have. But more importantly, let's congratulate David Hogan on winning this beautiful white pumpkin with the gold stem. So there we have, and that's what we're going to be sending to David right away. And our prize for next week is this really beautiful, it's a bubble, small bowl, but let me hold it up a little bit here so that you can actually see the bubbles in it. When we do the bubble vase later on, you'll see how those bubbles are created. So that's our prize today, is giving away this beautiful small bubble bowl. So the way you get entered in the drawing for the prizes is you comment. So give us lots of comments. The good mornings will count, but we'd really like to hear something more informative, like let us know how you found out about us or how long you've been knowing the folks at the Art of Fire and what you'd like to see maybe in the future, any glass that you may have. And while we're on the subject of meeting people, we had the Countryside Artisans tour this past weekend. And let's give a shout out to Pam and Kevin Ritter, Mark and Yvette, Jenna Welch, Stacy Merchant, Bridget Blackmore, Laura and Joe, Barbara, Diane, and Ted. We'll give them a shout later on just in case they don't show up. And there's others of you that were here. Perhaps we didn't get a chance to meet you or speak face to face. Let us know if you were around on the weekend. We kept everything safe with the social distancing, the masking, the sanitizing fluids, so we had a really great time with it. And there'll be another one coming up in December. Theta will be posting information and sending out emails on that. So let's see what we got here on the display table for your listening and dancing pleasure. Here at number 1, we have the bubble optic, a cylinder and a purse. So you can have a glass purse. More for decoration than function, but if you want to give it a shot, go right ahead. Here, number 2 is the Honeycomb Base. I'm going to have to get in a little closer so you can see the Honeycomb Pattern from the optics in that. Really very unusual. We'll talk about the mold that made that later. 3 pieces here in the number 3 range are what we call straight optics. The optic mold has formed straight lines with this variety of colors here, which we have lime green, we have a teal, beautiful combination there, and rose. Number 4 are some octagonal tumblers. They've been made in a fin mold, and they can come in different styles. For instance, they can have the optic twist to them, or they can be plain as far as the side goes, and a variety of colors on the top for a lip wrap. Number 5 is our Fishnet Pattern, which will be actually the first demonstration we get today. That's this pattern here in this beautiful purple and the blue back here behind. We also have a twisted optic, and in this case you can see that the lines, instead of being straight as they were over here, see how those ridges run straight down? Over here they run at an optics have been twisted. So that's why we call them that. We still have our Rondelles, which get a bit of the surface treatment. We can put on an optic and twist it. There you see what once were straight lines are now twisted. Here's one done with the diamond mold. And I'm gonna have to twist this one a little bit because it wants to turn on me. But this beautiful piece has the straight optics in it, and that's a Rondelle. We also have some hanging planters here. This is a perfect example of how the diamond mold turns out. So once again, thanks for being here. Those of you, wow, our number's up to 25 already. That is so cool. And I've got to thank you guys for listening last week. And I made a big point out of saying, please share the video. Please share your connection on Facebook for the Art of Fire. Because when you share, it goes out to your friends. Now, we got plenty of friends here, but if we've got 250 of you watching over a course of time, that's really cool. But if you even have just 50 friends that get notifications because you're sharing it, then the word goes out. And as a result of that action last week, we doubled our viewership from the previous week. So thank you very much. We really appreciate that. So the comments are for you to perhaps win a piece, and the shares are for us, and that really helps because that increases our viewership. So thanks again so much for all of that. So here we go. We'll walk on down here and say good morning to Foster and Josh. Good morning, Foster.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Josh. Okay.
Nice to have you with us.
So Josh has already picked up a piece of white, solid color, and he's got that over here in the pipe warmer, just warming it up till I got done yapping. So now he's going to go ahead and finish melting that, shape it up, and drop a little bubble into it. Good morning, David Hogan, and if this is your first check on, you are the winner of the white pumpkin with the gold stem. So it's great to have you back with us. Sharon, good morning. Chantel, good to see you. And I like that you folks are telling us where you live, where you're viewing from. Sooner or later this morning, we'll probably get Michael Herman from the Netherlands, but it's probably 5 p.m. or later over there. So Josh has now rolled out the white a little bit, and he's getting ready to take a gather of clear over. The colors he'll be using in this Fishnet Bowl are going to be purple and turquoise. So that's what he'll be picking up next. Actually, he'll probably go one more gather before he does that, just to increase the volume before he goes in the optic mold. As we've explained several times, probably too many times for some of you, there's a difference between an optic mold and a mold that is used to shape the glass and form the piece. We use primarily optic molds, which provide these decorative elements to our glass. So Josh has added the clear glass on top of the white. He's using the cherry wood block. Nan is in Marriottsville with a warm cup of tea. Very good.
Sounds pretty good.
Bridget asked, Bruce, did you ever add any color to the water glass I watched you make Saturday? Saturday I did make a few water glasses and put some color on some of them and playing around with them. We'll see what we've got a little bit later here. All right, so now we're going to let this cool off. And Jennifer, good morning from beautiful downtown Damascus, Maryland. Wonderful, glad to have you. Okay, David Hogan says, thank you. I'm sure that I guess it helps to pay to have a big mouth. Well, actually, you can say little sweet things to us, and that gets you an equal chance in the drawing. So give us the hearts, give us the thumbs up. Kimberly, glad to have you from Elkridge, Maryland. Good to have you here. So we got Josh letting this cool off a little bit. We've probably told most of you that if he goes in too quickly after that hot glass is put together, it'll just melt. Oh, Joe Marshall from South Carolina getting her weekly Maryland fix. What part of South Carolina, Joe? Let us know. You up into Piedmont? You down into coastal plains? Brian Ritter's watch us. Welcome aboard, Brian. Okay, so now Josh has got more glass there, and he's going to take a bigger block. This is a little bit like the movie Jaws. They think they're going to need a bigger boat. Well, he just needed a little bigger block. Okay, So Josh now is going to dip that into the colors. He's starting with the purple. Chantel asked how we get the pearl finishes. Some of the glass actually has an opalescent finish to it. Some we apply a special coating later on. Hello from London. Oh my goodness. Is this London as in Great Britain, or is this London, Kentucky? Tell us, Joanna. We're anxious to know. Alrighty, there goes Josh with the first coat of color. How many dips in the purple, Josh?
I'm going to go 2 in the purple.
2 in the purple, okay. Thanks for the thumbs up, Sharon. We appreciate that. Okay, so he's going to get a couple of dips in the purple, and then he'll come back and he'll be going through that beautiful little turquoise color. So once again, please comment. It's the comments that put you in the drawing to win the free pieces this week. Our reward piece this week is a beautiful little bubble Optic bowl. Now we got Josh going through the turquoise color, and he'll take a couple of coats of that. Brian Ritter in Sunday and picked up all their newest glass, including the hat with the Harry Potter theme. Yes, we remember that. Kevin and Pam, yeah. And Brian and
the first one ever made.
Yep, he got the first one ever made. We were in the studio one day messing around, and Josh, being a big fan of Harry Potter, said, I think I'm going to make a witch's hat, but put a face on it with folds in the glass. And it came out beautiful. Rochester, Minnesota from Michelle Rodenberg. All right, we're getting all over the world. How about that? Okay, welcome Pat Mays and Barbara. Nice to see you. He's got the glass heated up. I'll stop talking a minute. Well, actually, you can see if I talk. He's going to blow out into that optic mold and create a bunch of lines. Take a quick look. They are straight lines right now. Okay, so Josh has got those lines in the glass. Joyce Ferguson, Bruce, why aren't you wearing your red shirt today? Because you told me you like the gray one better. My bad. Okay, so now he's twisting it clockwise. As he rolls down the marver, he increases the pressure against the metal table, and that friction causes the glass to twist clockwise. So now we've got a nice twist going that direction. Good morning from Elkridge, Georgiana. Glad to have you. Christy says, Josh Ries, I need a Harry Potter sorting hat for Derek. Can you make it as an ornament? Well, we'll let you know. He's a little tied up right now, but we can certainly talk about anything. Okay, so now he's getting more twists onto this, and now we're getting a beautiful clockwise twist in that glass. Do you sell Art of Fire shirts? Absolutely we do. We have some of them that, well, let's see what we've got going on here as far as shirts. Because of our cat history, Josh has It's Perfect on. My red one says For a Hot Time. We won't elaborate on that. The gray one I have on now just has a picture of the hand tools, and Foster has a red one with the same picture of the hand tools on the front of the shirt, and the backs all identify us on our website. So you notice Josh used a pair of shears on the very tip of that piece of glass. That's because when we do the twisting, the very end of it doesn't twist quite as much as we'd like. So by gripping the end of the glass with the shears and still continuing to turn the pipe, then we wind up getting the last little bit of twist we want. But here we go again into the optic mold. Oh, what's up with that? Okay, so now you're going to blow real hard in it, and you're going to see the straight lines again. And below that level, you can kind of see the clockwise twist, but now he's going to really mix it up. And the next thing he's going to do, oh, let's see another Art of Fire. Good morning, Theta. And Theta is showing us the Happy Cat shirt. There we go. Okay.
Designed by Violet.
Designed by Violet. Okay.
Our granddaughter.
Check out the counterclockwise twist. Or as Foster says from his training in Great Britain, the anti-clockwise. I'm waiting for him to tell us he was an engineer on Star Trek, and engaged in antimatter, but that's for another day.
So did we ever find out if she was from London, the UK?
I haven't noticed. I'll tell you all. Sometimes I don't answer the comments right away. It's kind of hard to look at that, read it, and figure out what's going on around here and not get in their way. But I can tell you right now that Josh is gripping the end, and you can see the very last little bit of the glass take that twist. So now he's got his clockwise and counterclockwise twists in it.
Anti-clockwise.
What's that? His anti-clockwise, yes. Yeah. This is not like the matter and antimatter where if they meet, it's the end of creation. Lindsay Beth, the UK, okay, wonderful. Wow, that is so cool. All righty. So now we're getting the decorative elements pretty much settled in this. So folks, be sure and comment. Comments are what get you entered into our drawing for the free piece, which today is a beautiful bubble optic bowl in, I believe it's cobalt blue. Yeah, it's cobalt blue. And Josh is starting to inflate this a little bit. He's going to get a little more air going inside the piece. All right, London, Great Britain, the UK, way to go.
Yeah, Foster, which part did you study in the UK?
I trained out in the West Midlands in the Stourbridge area, which is and or was traditional glassmaking country in the lead crystal industry. My instructors were from Stewart Crystal, and I actually trained up in Brierley Hill, about 7 or 8 miles, maybe 10 miles from Stourbridge, near Wolverhampton.
All right.
So now we got really melted.
Now we have that pattern in there. Beautiful. Okay, and he's got it really well melted in. Marvered it, been blocked it a couple of times. And so once we get the decorating done, that's when we're able to go about making the piece. Kristen, we're happy to be open and making the video. We really enjoy this. So like I started to say a moment ago, we want you to make comments that get you entered in the drawing. We'd love it if you like us. I mean, we all have our Sally Fields moment. They like me. Anyway, the thing that really helps us is if you share. I mentioned it earlier, I will again, but I promise not to overdo it. When you share the video or the connection that you have to the Art of Fire on Facebook, it increases our viewership. And last week, after mentioning, just asking you all to share, out of the, I don't know, 100 or so viewers we had while it was live, we doubled our online viewership. So we really appreciate that. I don't understand algorithms at all, but I do know that the more you share and the more you like, the more Facebook thinks we got something great going on here, and then they promote it. Okay, yes, yes, Dan, Shannon, yeah, it's pretty already. Nan says Tuesdays are her new favorite day. We really like that. Thank you so much. You guys should have a 24-hour cam set up. I could watch you guys create all day. Well, the good news is we're not at it 24/7. Sometimes it feels like it, but we're not at it that long. So now what Foster is doing over here is gathering up a little bit of glass. And we told you last week, sometimes we put a little bit on the bottom as an insurance, or we call it a cheater around here. That's because we don't want the bottom cracking out. Ah, Catherine agrees with me. That's okay. No one understands the Facebook algorithm. Foster, Randy Hoyt says hello. All right, so now Josh has got the bit, the cheater, or the insurance policy, if you will, established on the bottom, and Foster will make the putty and we'll do the transfer. This is one of the points where we intentionally break the glass. So the idea in that constriction very close to the pipe is that we want it to break free of the pipe. This piece would really look kind of funky with a 4.5 foot piece of steel attached. So that nice constriction up by the pipe there is where Josh is going to break it free. If we named this piece Willie, you know what line's coming up next. Okay. Josh is just shaking his head. You never know what you're going to hear around here. All right, so now the placement of the punty in the center of the bottom. And just a little bit of straightening to make sure it goes fine. And then we pause. We pause for the cause. And the cause is to make sure that that juncture is not super hot and wobbling all over the place for Foster when it breaks free. So Josh taps it, breaks off, and look at that, it stood practically still. All right, perfect transfer. Let's have some hearts and flowers for the guys, because that's actually the breath-holding moment. Sometimes, I did a demonstration over the weekend, and I had a floor model, so it happens. Yeah, we do sometimes. Yes, Grace, that's true, the moment of truth. So typically in glass blowing, we work the bottom half to 2/3 of a vessel first, and then we transfer to a punty iron and finish the piece off. So Josh right now is primarily heating the top of it. And you can see that he only has a little bit of the glass piece pushed into the glory hole, the reheating of it. For those of you, Joe Marshall's from Little River, South Carolina, home of the Blue Crab Festival, coastal between North Myrtle Beach and Calabash Island. Yep, okay. I spent a lot of time in the campgrounds down at Myrtle Beach. Really beautiful country. Used to vacation there every summer. Arrowhead Campground, as I remember. Okay, so now we're opening it, and Foster's going to paddle the lip flat as Josh opens up. A nice big hand clap from Sharon. Thank you so much. Grace says, the first Art of Fire demonstration I saw at the Renaissance Festival was a floor model. Not a good first impression, but I came back and watched many great shows. Actually, it's good for us to occasionally have a floor model or something goes a little bit off.
Yeah, it keeps you humble.
What's that?
Yeah, it keeps you humble.
It keeps you humble. And so I like to say it's not what you can make, it's what you can fix. And so lots of times we even drop pieces on the floor and are able to pick them up. Brian Ritter asked how the witch pumpkin turned out. Turned out beautifully. Okay, so here we go with the wooden jacks or parchopi. They make less of a scar in the glass, and this allows Josh to bring the lip up and out, and then if he goes over the top and Foster paddles the lip for him, we get a really nice profile. I'll get out of their way, and the combination of the two tools working together just gives us a perfect profile. You can even see the water inside the piece, and it'll drip out. That came off of the wooden jacks, the parchopi, but we don't even worry about that. It's not going to do anything. Foster, Susie Earden says she hopes you can come back to Northern New York next summer, and I know you're looking forward to it.
We are. We sure missed it this summer, but we'll look forward to seeing you next summer. In the meantime, we do have some pieces at the Bay House Artisans Co-op up on James Street up in A Bay, and stop in and check those folks out. They've got some great stuff up there.
So here we are with the final touches on the lip and the shape of the shoulder. You've got the constriction behind that with a nice slope to it. And there we go. Okay. Let's see, from Brian, Grammy, Betty, Sade, and Brian all say hello, Foster.
That's my brother and my mother, and Betty, who lives with my mom.
Okay, way to go. Welcome, Amanda Ries. Your boy is up here making a beautiful fishnet bowl, and here we go. You're going to slow it down just a little bit, and you can see that pattern, and I'll take you back up front to see the rest of them. So here we go with the break off, a little bit of water right at the joint, a tap on the pipe, and it comes off. Foster puts it in the annealer, and we went through the annealing process last week and talking about that. We won't bore you with that again. So let's have some thumbs ups and some hearts. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, folks.
All right, and Foster. Okay, very good.
Thank you.
All right, let's go on up here and see what we got on the board. What's going on today? Our theme today is creating patterns in blown glass. So what you've just seen is a fishnet. It's created, as you saw, by putting it into the Optic mold, which has straight lines, and then twisting those lines in one direction, then heating it up, putting it in again, and doing the twist in the opposite direction. And I'll show you a fishnet bowl here in just a moment. What we're about to see next is a diamond optic rondelle. So we'll come to that as we go through the pieces here, and I'll cover the price list after I show you this beautiful stuff. All right, over here, if you'd like to order any of these, you can do so by direct messaging Theta on Facebook, or you can go to our website, artofire.com, and talk to Theta online. You can call, but again, please don't call Foster's phone because we're using it for the filming. Anyway, number one here are the bubble optics, and you'll see a bubble optic piece made later. There's a purse and a beautiful tall cylinder. We have another piece back here that is called the Honeycomb Pattern. I'll come in on it a little bit, and the hexagonal shape there looks perfectly like a honeycomb. And then we've also got over here some vases that are made in the straight optic pattern. So we've got a beautiful teal, I'm sorry, that's the lime green, and this is the teal here, and we've got the rose colored here with some frit mixed into it. Absolutely gorgeous. Here we have some drinking glasses that are made with a fin mold, which gives them the octagonal shape. Number 5 here is what you've just seen done with a slightly different top treatment. This is what the fishnet will look like when it comes out of the annealer. And we've got this beautiful violet one here, and we've got a blue one in the background with the black board behind it. It's a little bit hard to see the details. Let me see if I can get around it a little bit and give you a slightly better view with the light coming through that gorgeous transparent blue. There we go. Okay, number 6 is the twisted optic. Straight optic lines, Josh do, and twist them. But rather than twist them twice, maybe we just twist them once and we get this kind of curved pattern to it. So here we have a couple of beautiful twisted optic pieces. While we're right here at the front, here's David Hogan's White Pumpkin, and any of you that are willing to comment can be entered in the drawing for this beautiful bubble optic bowl. We'll be doing the bubble optic in just a moment, but I'm going to pick it up again so we can put a little, and you can see the bubbles in the glass. Those are intentional. Sometimes we try to pick out bubbles if we get them in the glass, but in this case, they're deliberate. We also have hanging planters. Here's a perfect example of what our diamond mold will show. This is one that was also blown in the diamond mold, but then cased with clear glass, another layer, so that it created the bubbles. And then we have another one over here in aventurine green. What you're going to see next is this one right here. Probably not this exact color, but this is a rondelle blown into an optic mold. If you look closely, you can kind of see that the pattern there on that rondelle looks very much like the pattern here on the hanging planter. The only difference is it's been spun out into a flat plate. And here's one with twisted optics. And again, I'm going to turn this one a little bit so you can see what they look like when the straight lines emanate from the center. A quick review of the pricing. So if you want to order any of these pieces on here, for instance, if you wanted the honeycomb piece, you could just say, I want the honeycomb. But if you like the straight optic, I told you this was not easy to do. What you need to do is when you say you want the straight optic, specify either the teal or the lime or the rose. And if you don't like any of those, say that we want a straight optic vase and we want bright blue, and we can do that for you. So that's how you can differentiate what's up here. The honeycomb vase is 167. In the bubble optics, we have the cylinder at 195 and the purse at 160. These were the ones I just showed you, the vases, the lime, the teal, and the rose. The fin mold tumblers are $35 each. If you don't like the colors you see on them, you can ask for another color. We do them both in a ribbed side that's been twisted, and also one that hasn't been put in an optic mold, so it's just a plain side. The fishnet we have up here, you saw that with this beautiful purple piece and the transparent blue. The vase bowl at 185. Okay, and then we have the twisted optics. We have the bowl 160 and the vase for 265. And here are our rondelles up here. You can order any one of them you want, or you can get them in another color. Our planters we already covered. And the beautiful thing is, you can go to our website, artifire.com, get any of these pieces if you don't happen to care for the color you see here on display. The one you see on display, better get in touch with Theta right away. So while we have a slight break in the action, I'd like to congratulate David Hogan again. And if you want to be a winner, and a winner of this beautiful blue bubble optic bowl, just keep making comments. You'll get entered in a random drawing. We were really pleased to have a lot of visitors over the weekend and maintaining a safe environment through the Countryside Artisans tour. We had quite a few folks. Give out a shout out to Pam and Kevin, Mark and Yvette, Jenna, Stacy, Bridget. It was nice to see you. And Bridget, is that a Charger you were driving? I was admiring that red car while I was walking back from the house. Laura and Joe were here, Barbara, Diane, and Ted. So we're really glad to have you all with us, and we'd love to hear more from you. But enough of this. Let's go on back and see if we can't get a piece of glass made. All right, so we're going to do a diamond pattern Rondelle. Okay. Is this going to be kind of a fall theme with red, orange, and yellow?
Not really fall, more of like a sun.
Ah!
Kind of like make a nice plate with the kind of sun colors.
Oh, okay. The colors spinning out from the middle? Okay. So what we've got here is a beautiful, that's cherry red, isn't it? Yep. 142, yep. We've got a really nice orange there and a yellow right in the front. You can see these are separated. Josh will be gathering them separately. And what we try really hard to do is not mix the colors together, because if we get a bunch of that orange and the yellow, it takes forever and a tiny pair of tweezers to pick them apart. So he's got the clear gather on there. A little air sets the bubble. You can see it growing out into the gather. Amanda asked, are those small glasses with color on the rim? Yes, they are. The small drinking glasses have what's called a lip wrap. And the lip wrap is applied during the creating process, and it just gives a little hint of color. So Michelle would really enjoy that lovely blue bowl. Okay, especially since she didn't get to buy her annual piece at the Maryland Renaissance Fair. Well, here's your chance. And really, David says the website is awesome. Well, thank you, David. Any of you can visit our website, see what we have online, and we do take special orders and requests. As long as it's something we can do or believe we can do, we'll get her done. So here we are with another good-sized gather of glass. He blocks it quickly just for shaping, but he doesn't want to steal the heat away. So here we go through the colors. Notice he picked that up right away. Now he's got the red on the tip, out on the end, away from him, the yellow close to the pipe. My guess is the orange goes between. Wow, what a guess. Would you believe I've done this once or twice? Not as much as these guys. These guys are pros. They make a living doing this. I just clown around with a camera.
You're going to do more than that today.
Yeah, right.
That's right. Yeah, we're going to watch you.
So, here we go again. Now when he does that in the red, he lifts it up because the glass is lengthening. Now he's going to come back through the orange. So when he points it downward, gravity starts pulling it. So he doesn't want it to pull away completely from him. See how he's kept that nice tight shape on it. So what he'll do, another coat of color?
Yeah, one more.
One more. So he'll probably go through the red again, covering the tip of the glass. Then he'll probably lift it up a little bit in case it has elongated, and to get his orange and yellow to make full color coverage. Amanda Ries asks, what will you make today, Bruce? I'm going to make I'm going to make one of those drinking glasses. I was doing that over the weekend and they're kind of fun. So there you see Josh collecting the color once more to make sure that the end of it is covered with the red. And now they'll start wiping the color away. And Foster will start with the yellow since it's closest to the edge, and you'll get all of that off, and then he'll work on the others. So Josh will get this all melted in, and because of this, you got another reheater too, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, I am going to pick up your diamond optic just a moment so I can show them. You going in the large one?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. So this big heavy thing has got all these things that look like shark's teeth down in it. And this is called a diamond optic mold. And you can see those tips right close to the end. This is what makes this mold very difficult to use because the glass goes under that when it's blown out. It's what we call an undercut. And when that happens, if you're not careful, the glass can get stuck in the mold, and we've all done that many times. And then it takes a long time to take it out carefully because you can't go banging on it or you'll lose all those precious tips. So the diamond optic is not something that we typically do with a beginning class or anything like that. We wait till people have a little more experience before we introduce that.
A lot more experience.
A lot more experience, Foster says. Yes, we don't have to spend hours cleaning out the molds. Okay.
Now you're good at jinx me.
Now I'm putting the pressure on him. Now, yes. Oh my God. Hey, Keith Daly is with us. Hello, Keith.
Hey, Keith.
Hey, and there's Foster over there.
Hi, Keith.
Okay. Brian asked if over the weekend I was drinking from the glasses or making them. Actually both. All right, here we go. Lets the glass elongate a little bit, drops it into that huge diamond optic mold, blows that he sucks in on the glass to pull it out, and another successful exit. We didn't expect otherwise. Let me get up here so you can see these, but I don't want to burn the phone up. I'll come back just a little bit. And that's the diamond optic pattern. So that's going to hold for the rest of the piece. And now it's a matter of shaping this thing up so that he can get it to where he can spin it out into the rondelle. You notice how much easier Josh is breathing right now? His shoulders are relaxed. He's into the moment. You wouldn't believe how he messes with me anyway. I'm going to take my chance for revenge when I can. All right, so now he's getting the shape squatted up. He's getting the bottom to where they'll be able to put the punty to it. A little bit of flattening, and he'll let Foster know when he's ready. All right, we're going to put a cheater on this also, just to be insured. We'll come down here and get a bird's eye view of putting the glass on and see how he just lets it burn itself right off. Didn't even have to use shears or anything to cut it. Just by pulling back on the glass a little bit and thinning it out, it burns itself apart. Josh will take a couple of flashes, which is what we call a real quick reheat, and then he'll come on back to the bench and get ready for Foster, who is now forming up the punty. Remember to comment, like us. We really feel good when you like us or let us know what it is you like about us, except for my red shirt, huh, Joyce? Or my gray shirt that I have on and didn't wear the red. Foster's getting the punny all shaped up. Josh is keeping the glass on center because it's got enough heat that it could fall offline. Makes the attachment, and now they'll make sure that that's all lined up nice. Then Josh will score the neck, maybe put a drop of water on it, break it free. That rubbing, that scoring of the neck is enough to cause a little bit of cooling and break the piece free. Well done, gentlemen. All right, so now it's a matter of getting this shaped up so he can spin it out flat. Josh messed with me. Oh yeah, David, he messes with me big time. Oh yes, yeah, he never messes with an old man. There is nothing but ageist talk in here. So, all right, so now he's getting the reheat going, and he's going to open it up some. You saw that the opening was very small after the transfer, and then he'll gradually open it and spin it out. How hot does it get in the workroom on a regular basis? Well, let's see. The thermometer is, oh, here's the thermometer. So, I'm reading a little bit under 80 degrees, but that is deceptive because that gentleman over there is standing in front of a glory hole which is broadcasting about 2,300 degree heat at him. Okay? Yes, he does. We have fans in place. We have lots of things to help us stay cooler. But yeah, it gets really hot up there. And of course, it is seasonal. In the summertime, we've seen temperatures close to reaching 120 degrees in the studio. And that's really not a lot of fun. Well, it's fun to blow the glass, but changing your shirt every half hour is a pain. Okay, so we ready to spin it out, Josh? Another opening?
2 more openings.
Okay. So you'll notice he's got the whole bowl in there. He could stop at any time and make this a beautiful diamond optic bowl. But wait, there's more. Okay, so he's heated the whole thing so that when it comes time to spin out, it will all move. You can notice him using the wooden jacks, the parchophy, to widen it and also kind of push it back toward the pipe a little bit. It's got a slightly different profile than it would if it was a straight up bowl. So he'll do that another time or two and then we'll get the spinning out. This time?
One more time.
One more. He said 2, but I didn't believe it. No, I'm kidding. He knows a lot about glass blowing, and of course he knows exactly what he's doing. This is opening the diameter, and it's also lowering the profile. If we come around over here and take a look at it, it's spread out more, so it has a little less distance to travel when he does this spin out. So now Foster is holding the doors open, and Josh is heating the whole thing. He's got that in there at a depth that the entire piece is in front of the burner tip. And he's going to watch the glass, keep the rotation going. I'm afraid the backlighting in it is too bright probably for you to see, but it's expanding, it's reaching the diameter of the glory hole, and we'll be out in just a moment. And as long as he's right there, he can keep turning and spinning because it won't go in. And now he's got that out into a beautiful flat piece, and you can see the diamond optics. You may be getting dizzy as they turn. Okay. He's using the paddle to keep it straight. The glass is still very hot and malleable. That's why it kind of flexes a little bit, and that's what allows him to go ahead and heat that up. Kay says she's amazed the pattern's retained through all the heating and manipulation. Well, it is, and it's a part of learning as you go through glass blowing. And Josh has done another excellent job. And here we have this beautiful diamond optic Rondelle. and it's going to have a color pattern starting with red, moving to orange, and out to yellow, kind of a sun pattern. Hello, Patrick Foley. Okay, there we go. Foster puts it away, and let's hear it for Josh. Way to go, Josh. I didn't distract him a bit. I mean, the man stayed right on message and went with it. Thank you, Foster.
Oh, thank you, guys.
Way cool. All right, let's take another look at what's up front. So today's theme is creating patterns in the glass. Primarily we're using molds, optic molds. And as we've explained before, some molds actually shape and more or less make your piece into very close to its final form. That's not what we're doing. We're using molds that actually create patterns, and then we go ahead and by hand create the vessel. So today's agenda right up here. We've done the Fishnet Bowl. If you've joined us late, we'll go through the here and you'll see a fishnet. You just saw Josh do the diamond optic rondelle with a beautiful sunburst pattern with red in the middle, followed out by orange and then yellow around the outer rim. And how did Josh get started in this? His wife probably really wants to know the answer to that. No, he stopped. He came in and he took lessons, didn't you?
Yeah,
I was teaching at the time. Josh was an early student and quickly surpassed anything I could do, and he's been at it 17 years now, right?
Yeah.
Yep, 17 years, and just keeps getting better and better. He's one of the full-time blowers here at the Art of Fire. Foster, the owner, is our head gaffer. Foster's been at it 40 years.
Come on, 40 years.
40 years. He found a place in Great Britain where they teach 5-year-olds to blow glass. Because I swear he can't be a day over 45 right now, right? Okay, enough of that. Todd is the other full-time glass blower, and as somebody mentioned earlier, he's out sick today. Don't worry, it's not COVID, just a little under the weather. But our wishes to Todd for getting better. Those are the 3 full-time glass blowers here.
Right.
I'm Bruce. I've been doing it part-time for 21 years. Air traffic controller for 15 of those years while I'm over here. So I was mainly a weekend warrior. All right, let's get back to what we're talking about today for the live stream. After the diamond rondelle you just saw, we're going to have a bubble vase. Then there's going to be an optic tumbler with a fin mold, and then Bruce's mystery. Well, Magical Mystery Tour was taken, so we didn't know what to call that. And question mark and Mysterians are long past. But a few of you have said, who is this Bruce guy, and does he blow glass? So I'll actually make some glass today. But when they advertised this, they said that it was going to be creating patterns in glass, and as a special attraction, Bruce would be demonstrating. And I finally figured out what's special about the attraction. They're going to wrest the camera from my hands, and I won't be able to talk. And I think that's what the special attraction is they don't have to put up with my nonsense. Okay, so be sure to comment. David Hogan commented last week, and he won this beautiful white pumpkin with the gold stem. If you're in our comment chain, you can win this beautiful bubble optic bowl. Okay, it's a real pretty cobalt blue, and you're going to see a bubble optic piece made right now. Also on the table here today, if you'd like either of these pieces listed as number 1, these are bubble optics, and in this particular case we have on display a glass purse and also a tall cylinder. We have a pattern back here called a honeycomb, and you can see with the hexagonal shape in there that this one, it does look like a honeycomb. We've also got some pieces that have straight optics. They're listed here as number 3. If you'd like any of those 3, you can contact Theta right now, either direct messaging on Facebook or through our website, and tell her you want one of the number 3 straight optic vases, and just identify it as the lime green, the teal, or the rose color. Simple, huh? Well, let's say you don't like any of those. You can still ask for that shape and get another color to your satisfaction. That's number 3. Number 4 are the octagonal tumblers, which come both with the optics in them and twisted, or they can have no optics in them, a more straight look, just plain. And the color lip wraps up there, we have a variety of them. I'll talk about that a little bit more later. We have the fishnet pattern here. So if you just saw, you didn't see the fishnet as the first piece, this is a fishnet pattern. This one happens to be in a lovely purplish color. And so the one we did today was a combination of turquoise and purple. But we can do any color combination you want. You don't have to have a low vase or bowl. You can get one that sits high. I'm coming around the side fishnet pattern through the transparent glass with a little bit of backlighting. So that's our fishnet. Twisted optics are over here. We not only just twist optics when there's clear glass on, we can take glass that has threads in it from where the frit has been twisted, and then we can additionally twist the glass after it's blown in an optic mold. So that's what those are. Here's what a diamond optic pattern looks like here in a platter. There's a couple more, and let's just do the price list real quick. The bubble optics, the cylinder and the purse, $195 and $160. The honeycomb white vase back there is $167. Excuse me one moment. Josh, is the honeycomb glow in the dark or just straight white?
Just white.
It's just straight white. Okay. We could do one for you, but that one's not. The straight optic pieces, the lime, teal, and rose, are $169 each. The tumblers are $35 each. The fishnet, we have the vase and the bowl right there, the purple and the blue, and they're $185. And then we have the twisted optics right here in front. There's the prices on them. And our rondelles are $60, and the planters are $74. So remember to comment, like us, and I'm going to take the time once again to ask you to please share. Please share, because that's what gets us more viewership. I really emphasized that last week, and the 100 or so of you that were with us did a lot of sharing, because that shows up too in the statistics, and it increased our viewership by 100%. We doubled our viewership just because of you guys sharing. So thank you very much, and please continue to do that. We had a really great weekend here. We had the Countryside Artisans tour, had a lot of folks that have visited us here on the live stream, stopped by, people just enjoying themselves, but maintaining social distancing, masking up, taking advantage of the copious amounts of sanitizer we have around, and a good time was had by all. I know I did. I think everybody did. Josh did too. I even got the opportunity to work with Josh's children for them to have a little pumpkin. So that was really cool. So we got a white base on this. Josh is picking up color, getting ready to increase the volume. And this is going to be the bubble optic, but I've been talking so much and walked away from the board. What's the shape?
It's going to be a vase with a foot.
Okay, a footed vase. All righty. Will there be another tour? What a great lead in. Thank you, Mary Beth. Actually, there will. There may be two, maybe just one. Normally, the Countryside Artisans have two tours right in early December. Sometimes it's just one. Not knowing what the COVID situation is going to be, we can't say for sure, but I will tell you that if you check our website and probably check your email if you're a follower or a friend, you will see that Theta will keep you up to date. Amanda Ries said the kids loved the pumpkin. That really makes me happy. Okay. But then I'm easily pleased. I'm a sucker for loud noises and bright lights. Okay, so what do we got? Some gold and cobalt. Okay. Now Theta, working the computer, is actually much more up to date on this than me, and she's telling you that the next tour will be the first weekend of December. Can you purchase a red t-shirt? You betcha you can purchase a red t-shirt. Just contact us online, get in touch with Theta, and it's yours. So Tracy Calkins Rondelle says tour. That's awesome. In case you're not familiar, Tracy, the Countryside Artisans is a collective of various artists here in this section of Montgomery County. And
Montgomery County in the Agricultural Reserve.
There you go, in the Agricultural Reserve. And Theta, ever on top of this computer stuff, much faster than me, is on there telling you that there's a website for them, and so you can go there and get all the information. Unfortunately, that takes the words right out of my mouth, and I need to make up something else to talk about. Okay, the Foster's going to fill in.
Yeah, that's Countryside Artisans, plural.com.
Yep, that's what Theta gave them. Who won the last week's pumpkin giveaway? It was the white one. Well, yes, Mary Beth, that's a dead giveaway that you've just joined us, but thanks for being here. I'm teasing. It was David Hogan, and we're glad you're here with us. A beautiful little white pumpkin. And if we're giving something, you ready for an Optic mold, Josh?
Yeah, we're going to go in the Optic.
He's going to go into the smaller diamond Optic mold. And this is what's going to be the first part of creating the bubbles. So he blows real hard, then he sucks in on it and he twists it, and that's what frees it from those pins. And we got a beautiful...
Scared me for a second. It was in there a little bit.
Yeah. And if he pauses just a moment and is turning, there you go. Beautiful diamond optics right there. Now he's going to let this cool a little bit, and then he's going to work the magic and let you see how it is that we get the bubbles in the glass, those bubble optic. And that beautiful little cobalt blue bowl that has bubble optics in it, gone, that's a lot of beads. Anyway, that could be yours if you comment, get entered in the random drawing, and get selected for next week. Thanks for watching. If you did just join us and seeing Mary Beth come in, of course we understand that you joined when you can, and we're glad to have you. And that's a handy dandy reminder to me, besides the list on my wrist, that I should occasionally introduce myself and tell people what we're doing here. I'm Bruce Ferguson. We're here at the Art of Fire. Thank you, Rachel. Art of Fire, big sign over the furnace. And here comes Josh, having gathered over the diamond optic, and you can see the bubbles forming.
So how'd that happen, Bruce?
So how'd that happen? We have a bunch of little Keebler elves that sit inside the piece and poke it out. No, actually, the diamond optic creates little hollow spaces. So any time that there is an indentation in the glass or it's not perfectly smooth, it will trap air. Now, if we make a mistake and just get a crease in the glass, say by hitting a tool and then go at gather, we might have a long, nasty looking air bubble in it. But this is an intentional act on Josh's part, and that's what makes it so special. So, after having created the diamond optic impressions in the glass, he gathered over it, and everywhere there was a slight indentation in between the points. They filled in with air as he gathered, and now off we go to finishing the vase with the diamond bubble optic pattern. And we'll come up for another little look. Now some of this is going to be hard to see because of the speed and also the heat, but the bubbles are in there, trust me, it will stay. Okay, so anyway, back to what I should have been doing every 30 minutes anyway. I'm Bruce Ferguson. I'm doing the narration and holding the camera away from the glass, and they're going to take it away from me in a little bit because they have a special treat. The special treat is not that you get to see me blow glass, it's that they get to hold the camera and I shut up. Okay, so Josh marvered the end of that glass so that it doesn't blow out. This is selective cooling. So now when he puts that whole thing back into the glory hole, it all gets hot. But having rolled it on the metal table ahead of time, that will not expand as much. So we'll watch him blow it out, and you'll see that the expansion, when he did that, takes place up near the pipe. See how that's getting wide? But he's still got that gentle taper down at the tip. Sometimes people ask, are you guys making anything besides orange glass today? And absolutely we are, but the extreme heat of the glory hole really excites the atoms in there. And all that energy released comes out in the form of light and heat. We feel the heat, you see the light. So now, let me get in here, Josh, real quick. There's your bubble pattern. Awesome, man. Okay, so now I can tell you that most all of our pieces, probably 85% of them, are made by creating a sphere and putting a neckline or a jack line up close to the pipe. Then we use gravity or centrifugal force to reshape that bubble of glass into what we want. So if we want something that is longer, taller than it is wide, we call it a vase. And he spins it around like an airplane propeller and it elongates. So that's how we make a vase. If we wanted to make a bowl, and the simple definition of a bowl is something usually that's wider than it is tall, quite often we point it up in the air and let gravity squash it back toward the pipe, which is a really cool thing too. Josh, Joyce Ferguson says it's beautiful.
Thank you. And Joyce is a tough critic.
Okay. Alrighty, so now he's using the wet newspaper to shape it and straighten the line. Those actually are pieces of newspaper. There's probably about 7 of them folded up into probably about a 7-inch square piece and then soaked in water. And it provides a perfect insulator. It's so very easy at that point to grab the glass with your hand. It's not so easy if the paper is dry, it would burn, and if there's any gaps in the paper, you'd get burned. But he's got that wet newspaper now, and by moving his hand back and forth like that, he's shaping it just like a potter would shape a pot. Only we do our work horizontally and they do it vertically. Foster's cutting off some glass on the marver now for a foot. Josh will come over and place it in the middle. Footboard? Okay. Making sure he's got the tools. He's going to use this piece of wood.
And my son's a Boy Scout. I should know.
Yeah, right. Jacob, you need to teach your dad to be prepared.
That's right, be prepared, that's right.
It's easy to get involved in it. So now he's going to use these 2 pieces of wood that are held together by a strap, and then he's going to surround the glass with the wood and pinch it. And that's what's going to give him that beautiful profile for his foot. Now, it's not quite flat yet like he wants. He'll put a little taper in it, but he'll probably take another reheat and do any final shaping. Foster's preparing the punty right now. We got a little bit of glass on the end of an iron. That serves kind of like a glue bit. Foster marvers it, gets it into shape. Josh comes back to make sure the foot's just exactly like he wants. And let's get another view on this. I'm going to come around this side this time, and we'll see what's going on with his attachment. And then I'll get out of the way, hopefully, in time. Okay, here we go. So, he takes the tweezers when he's good and ready and attaches it. Make sure it's secure, and then the pressing of the tweezers on the pipe keeps it centered. Centered simply means aligned with the central axis of the piece. And look at this beautiful straight line. It comes straight down from the punty iron, through the vase, and out into Josh's iron. So it's all aligned. A quick drop of water, and then he'll give a tap. I'll back up so Foster can keep it centered and get it back into the glory hole. So that's jumping around kind of like a fish on a line right now. That's because the punty is hot. So what he's going to do is heat the upper portions, and he won't heat the punty so much. You can see how it's still kind of bouncing a little bit on him. All his years of experience have taught him how to control that. And he'll still go back in to warm the whole thing once in a while, just to make sure that it's all warmed up.
Yeah.
Grab a piece of paper to throw in after we open it.
Yes, Kristen, we agree. The pattern is gorgeous. You want a cone or anything? Steam cone or?
I think I have one in there. Once again, I check before I start.
Yes, we got a steam cone here. So this handy little gadget is called a steam cone because it's a cone that creates steam. How about that? It's made of cherry wood, just like our blocks. It's solid. It's shaped in like a cone. And because we've taken it off the blowpipe, we got no way to blow into it. Blowing into it like a Coke bottle would be kind of pointless. So Josh is going to shape this up a little bit, and then in a few moments he'll open the top some more. The guys team up on this. Here we go with steam cone now. So what's happening there is the water's evaporating off of that cone, and it's causing the steam to blow out the top of the vase. Beautiful. Have you ever lost a piece once it's in the glory hole? Oh,
yeah.
Yes. When the glory holes are cold, you can look in there and see all kinds of color, because every once in a while a piece is coming off in the glory hole. In fact, I'm going to open this cold glory hole, and I'll come back to that in just a moment, because Josh is about to do some work, and this is way more interesting. So he's got the wooden jacks, the Parchothes again. And he gets them up underneath that to get just the profile he wants.
We'll spin it out this time.
Spin it out in a ruffle. Okay, so you can see that area where he inflated, where so the top 4 or 5 inches are large like that. He's going to get all of that really hot, so very, very hot. And then he's going to spin it while it's in the glory hole. And that whole area, you'll notice if there's not too much backlighting, that he's just got that big part in the glory hole. He flashes it all for a moment, but he'll come back to heat the big part. And now he's turning it, and the increased speed is making it open up. And then it comes out, and it's going to be almost like a top hat. He spins it a little bit, and now as he points downward, it ruffles. And the Italians have a word for this technique. It's called fazzoletto, which basically means handkerchief drop. And the idea is the glass is formed up as it would if you dropped a handkerchief on a tabletop. So there we go. And it's still hot enough to burn. Yes, indeed. Alrighty, and that stuff will burn out. But we mentioned about pieces coming off in the glory hole. Look at all this color that lies on the bottom of the glory hole. It didn't start out life like that. It was clean, but over the time, and it happens. We break pieces off. We try to make sure that we clean it up as much as we can. You can actually pick it out while it's hot. So here's your beautiful bubble optic pattern with a foot on it. A little water right there at the punny, and Foster takes it off. Okay, let's hear it for Josh and Foster. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
Thank you, Foster. We'll give you a quick rerun up here. So this is our 8th live stream. We're happy to have you with us, and please keep coming back. I would like to mention that if you share, then all your friends will be notified, and that really does a number for us, because it allowed us last week to double our viewership over the previous week. So that's really great for us. And what's good for you is to comment, because when you're in the comments you get entered into a random drawing. Last week's winner was David Hogan, this white pumpkin with a gold top, and this week's prize will be a Bubble Optic blue bowl, and formed just the same way as you saw the piece that was just made. So I'm not going to go over the prices again. I'll just give them a quick scan. If you really want to order anything off of the board, you can rewind this after we're done. Those are our prices. Here are our pieces. These are bubble optic pieces. This is a purse, and we have a tall cylinder. We have a honeycomb pattern, made in a mold that can actually be made from ball bearings. That's what we have. Perhaps we'll show you that a little bit later. We have pieces that are straight optics. They were not twisted. You can see the straight lines in it in our lime, teal, and rose color. We've got some octagonal tumblers here with lip wrap. Here's the fishnet you saw earlier. And then if you want to buy this beautiful blue vase back here, transparent with the fishnet pattern, just let Theta know that you want number 5, the tall blue vase. Up here on the front are our twisted optic pieces. And then we've got other examples of our optic work here with our planters. There's that diamond pattern I was telling you about earlier. Now this has been blown out, but if you can imagine each of those recessed parts in there between the ridges as being very small, that's where the air was trapped to create the bubbles. And then this one is what it looks like when it's done. And we've got the, here's an aventurine green planter also hanging. We made you a diamond optic rondelle earlier. Here's a rondelle with twisted optics. The lines were once straight. So please share. That really helps us out a lot. And that's going to help you out because you might get one of these pieces. And that's really about it for that. So back to the board. We've done the fishnet bowl. We've done the diamond rondelle, and we just saw the bubble vase. And now we're going to have an optic tumbler on the fin mold. So some of you have been commenting over time, who's Bruce? We've never seen Bruce. Bruce never goes to the Ren Fair. That's because Bruce basically had a full-time job and was out here on weekends teaching and holding the fort down while they were at the Ren Fair. So I'm going to make a couple of things right now. The first thing I'm going to make is an optic tumbler with using the fin mold to create the 8-sided drinking glass like you see right there. And then the question mark, what's Bruce going to make? Well, if it works out, you'll find out when I'm done. Okay, so that's pretty much the outline for today. And as I said earlier, probably the reason Theta advertised this as a special appearance by Bruce was so that Foster could take the camera away from me and you wouldn't have to listen to me talk anymore. So there you go, buddy.
Here we go.
Have a ball.
So they're in for it now.
Yeah.
So let's turn this around. You know what I look like. And we're going to see Bruce for his first time during the live streams. As you know, Bruce has spent all of his time talking, sharing with you our expertise and his expertise, explaining the processes that we go through in order to create our pieces of glass. So I'll try and pick up on what Bruce normally says, which is we would like you to share, comment, and what is it? Share, comment, and
We want you to like,
share, and
we want you
comment.
to comment. Comments are for you. Shares are for us. Well, shares are for anybody. But the really cool part of that is we have X number of friends that see us, maybe 250 or so on a broadcast. But if all of you share it, that opens up the whole world. Okay.
So this is the pipe warmer. Bruce just took.
We know we're in trouble, Foster. There we go. Here, now let's try it that way.
Don't mind me. I'm new at this game
See?
here.
I do have some value around here.
So you were looking at me shoot my mouth when I was supposed to be paying attention to what the guys are doing here. So yeah,
What they're saying.
there you go. Like, share, and comment. Thank you. And expertise? Bruce is still talking. No, Barbara, it's me, Foster. Mary Beth, I have over 2,000, so many peeps. You all can keep the red. Bruce, look at that. Thank you
thank you, Rudd. Interesting new twist. Greetings from Holland. Is Michael there with you by chance? If not, he'll be there soon. Well, we're getting a lot of thumbs up and a lot of hearts. We can't thank you enough for that. And Chantel, you thought Bruce was supposed to shut up and everyone else was supposed to talk. Yeah, well, that's the way it's going to be here in just for a few moments. This, as I say, this piece of equipment is the pipe warmer. And Bruce went ahead and put up a couple of pipes that he's going to use for his demonstrations of making his paneled pieces. Hi, Joyce. Yes, it's Foster's turn to talk. And Barbara says, I hear Bruce in the background. That's right. And Rudd says, oh my God. Yeah, so hi, Rudd. My name's Foster. You've seen me out on the floor in front of the camera instead of behind the camera, except when I turn the camera around on myself.
With my gray shirt, Joyce. Okay. So I would like to point out that when I came in this morning, I took the irons I'm going to use, I wiped them down. I actually spray the iron with Clorox, wipe off the mouthpiece and everything with alcohol. We're all very cognizant of our safety and everything we have going on here. So just like we had a really great weekend this last weekend, we take care of each other here in the studio. So I'll take a couple gallons of glass, blow it out, put it in the Optic mold, put some ridges in it, twist it up, make a tumbler shape. It'll take a little longer than a normal tumbler would because I've got to get the measurements right so it'll go down over this mold. This is how we make the tumblers that have the 8 panels on it.
There you go.
And Josh will pick up some yellow for me in a couple minutes, and we'll put that on as a lip ring. So, get this stuff warmed up, make sure I'm ready, off we go.
Carol Ann, the different colored handles for the solid and hollow pipes. All of these solid pipes have the black handles on them. That's a very good question. And then for the blowpipes, they range from blue to purple to green, but all of the black handled pipes that you see there are solid. And we traditionally call those punty irons. Punty is short for the French word for bridge. And the bridging tool or pontil iron allows us to take the piece of glass away from the blowpipe so that we can open the piece up and bring it to its completion. You have seen that. They can also be used to get bits of glass on the end of the blowpipe to create feet or to apply to the side of a vessel to create a handle. So Bruce now has enough heat in his pipe. He's going to go into the furnace and get his first gather or wrap of glass on the end of the blowpipe. And if you haven't noticed, any of us who have glass on the end of the blowpipe, we continually turn the blowpipe. This helps to keep the glass, the viscous material, centered on the end of the blowpipe. So Bruce got the first gather or wrap of glass. He brought it out, rolled it back and forth, and let it cool down just a bit. He then went ahead and put more glass over that. It's a way of getting more glass on the end of the blowpipe. And he's just cooled and shaped it on the steel top table, which we call the Marvering Table, M-A-R-V-E-R, which is French for bridge. Because before steel was developed, the glass blowers for 2,000 years have used marble slabs to cool and shape the glass. So Bruce went ahead, he came over to his bench, he picked up a long tube that has a mouthpiece that he will blow into, the other end that will be attached to the mouthpiece of the pipe, and he's just now gone into the dip or the optic mold to put ribs into the piece. He's attached the mouthpiece to the end of the blowpipe while he's heating the glass on the end of the blowpipe in the glory hole. You can see that the hose is hooked up to the end of the pipe. Now Bruce is making a twist by grabbing the end of the glass or the parazon with the shears, grabbing it as he twists down the arm of the bench, and now he's using the jacks to help shape and stabilize the glass on the end of the pipe. He has calipers there that he's using for the measuring. Boy, Bruce is going hyper speed here. He's got a nice taper to it. Josh is here to make the punny at the appropriate time. Bruce used the jacks to create the neckline so as to take it off, and he used his calipers once again to measure the diameter, which up towards the top is rather critical, so that as he opens it, it will go over the top of the fin mold that we shared with you earlier. Mary Beth Morgan says he pinched off a bit. What was that for? That is because the glass does not twist all the way to the bottom. So we make that little button by grabbing the glass, continuing to twist, and it causes the glass to twist all the way to the very bottom of the glass on the end of the iron, which again we refer to as the parazon. So Bruce is selectively heating the very bottom of the glass in the glory hole because he's going to bring it out now and flatten it. And Josh has clear glass, or will have clear glass on a punty iron, again a solid pipe. He's going to cool and shape that. Would you find a fly on there? Who doesn't like being on camera? He's working fast to get off the camera.
Right.
Well, I agree with you, Carol Ann. I thought he was working a little bit fast, but he knows his own speed best. So they've attached the
I'm cheating here. I'm using a diamond saw, but it just gives me a little cleaner edge. Okay? We cap it off.
Thank you, Joanna. Is Josh making a glass with a cookie foot with a no. Mary Beth Morgan says, is Josh making a glass cookie with a Pence fly?
Oh, yeah, right.
We don't get involved in that end of the stream there, Mary Beth. So, now that we took the piece of glass off the end of the blowpipe onto the punny, Bruce is now going to go ahead and heat the mouth of the piece so that he can begin to open it up. Josh, just prior, do you want to paddle?
No.
Okay. Okay. All right. So Bruce went ahead and opened up the mouth of the piece fractionally. Josh has a piece of colored glass. Josh has the piece of colored glass. This is called a lip wrap. They touched up at the 12 o'clock position on the round, and he turned the piece of glass, pulling that molten color off the bit iron and going around. This is this yellow?
Yep, and I cut off a little chunk on the marker so you can really see. You can see it up here where it started cooling and it's yellow. Where it's still thick and hot, it's that orange color.
And of course, everything that is orange is what is incandescent. So now, okay.
The yellow is a little stiff, so.
Oh no, come on. Thank you, Brian. That's awfully nice. Hello, Mother. Hello, Betty and Brian and anybody else who may be watching from Sugarland. We actually have had one or two other people from Sugarland watch us. Thank you, Amy. We appreciate that. Okay.
Did I hear somebody remark that the old man moves fast?
Yes. That was Mary Beth.
You didn't hear me say it, that's
Josh has told me that if we had a foot race, I would be timed with a calendar, not a stopwatch.
So because this glass is so very thin, a lot of times by the time
What's his name?
Yeah, Bruce gets back to the bench, the glass is cooled off quite a bit. So he's only able to open up the mouth of the piece.
Okay, look, I forgot one too.
Now who's not prepared?
Yeah, now who's not prepared? You know, I moved that off the bench when you were working, because I thought, I want to put these lips on that.
Okay, and what they're talking about is this hooked tool here that we call the Sophietta. This is an alternative to the steam cone.
Watch right here.
He's blowing through this hollow tube, and you can see the piece expand right there at the top, bringing it into line with the sides of the piece of glass. Now he's going to go ahead, heat this once again, and open it. If it doesn't come open all the way, he'll come back to the glory hole for a further reheat. Now, every once in a while, you'll see him on a continual basis going into the glory hole to keep enough heat into that pontal juncture. This is important because if the piece becomes too cold where it's attached to the putty pipe, it's going to potentially come off. So using the jacks to go ahead and open up the mouth of the piece, Bruce has his calipers. Are we good there, Bruce? Nope, we need a little bit more opening.
Calipers are set to go just over the top of that mold with enough clearance for the thickness of the glass. So I need to make sure that this is wide enough to go over. And yes, I have stuck it on there with not enough diameter, and it just folds in. That's why I have another blowpipe on. Be prepared. Right, Jacob?
Don't forget Isabel.
Don't forget Isabel. I know Isabel's prepared. I could see when she made that pumpkin this weekend that she is always prepared.
Okay, so.
I want just a little bit more.
Okay.
So this is why I said this piece might take longer than a normal tumbler. Just a straight up tumbler would already be in the annealing.
Because you're so fast. Is that correct? We're surprised that he's so fast. So, again, like, share, and comment. Your comments are great about Bruce. I think you should be okay there.
We gotta look up to make sure we don't hit the lights.
Amanda says she wants to be Isabel wants to be a glass blower like her daddy.
So now we're going to heat this gently by only putting it in the heat for a little bit to soften it, but not enough to deform.
Mary Beth Morgan, Bruce, says she loves this tumbler. Okay, here we go over the panels. Can you see it change shape from to the panel shape, following the profile of that fin mold? That was some good optics there when you came out from the glory hole. There you go. Nice. Okay. Okay, so Bruce used the tweezer tool, sometimes referred to as the pincers. He put it into the annealing oven and hit the pipe, and with that small bit of water on that poundle juncture allowed it to separate.
All right, Bruce. So
Nice piece. That was excellent.
Well, what's next is I gotta take another measurement for something else. We got
Okay.
something fun.
All right, we have something fun.
I'm the clown of this studio. So
Where's your red clown nose?
we'll make one out of glass.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we'll make
Okay,
one
so
this week so
we're
that.
gonna use a different fin mold.
Okay, we're going to use another fin mold that's a little bit smaller.
I'll tell you why it is that Josh had this fin mold made one time before, I think it was right before we went up to Corning once, wasn't it? And don't show him that yet. No. Okay, we got the big question mark up there. Question mark and the Mysteriums. Who's old enough for that one? Do you know that, Josh?
There you go.
Josh is
No,
right there.
yeah,
Right.
I know that one. I remember that. That would be, here, Brian, let's go back to WKBW from
Okay, so I got
Buffalo,
this
New York.
So,
All right.
this one's kind of fun to do. We haven't done these in quite a while, but if it works, it's pretty cool, and we'll explain it as we go along.
Okay, so Bruce just got some clear glass on a punny pipe. You're going to pick up a piece of color for the lip wrap. No? Okay.
We're not going to tell them what we're doing.
Okay.
Josh is going to show them after I pick it up and breeze by.
Okay. So Bruce took a punny iron.
Hey, you guys said you wanted to see if I could make glass. You didn't say it had to be serious art.
So he's picked up glass on the end of a punny iron. He's reheating it super hot. He's going to come running over to the annealing oven, and when we come back out, you will all be amazed at what he has. Amanda says, Bruce, you did a great job. I have to go. Can't wait to watch your mystery piece later. This is on the mystery tour, Amanda. Okay, so. Okay, they're gonna bring it out. Oh my gosh, look at it. It looks like a beer bottle.
It talks like a beer bottle. It walks like a beer bottle.
And it tastes like a beer bottle.
It is a beer bottle. Josh, you want to show them what
Yeah,
a
so
non-hot version?
so here we have, it's called Stone Brewing Company. They actually make these really cool bottles that have gargoyles on them. And they're actually enameled, so they actually fire glass labeling on it. So if you've ever seen like Red Stripe or if you've seen Rolling Rock, that's enameled labels. It actually doesn't burn away. And that's what Bruce has here.
So you want to grab the red stripe that's on the back marver just to show them? Ah, bro.
Oh,
That's all right. Well, this is the one that... Now you asked about did anybody ever drop glass in the glory hole? The answer is yes.
all right.
But
Take your time. Take your time. All right, we had an accident here, folks.
there we go. Josh is going to put the other beer bottle back in.
Okay, so we're going to take this stone bottle, put it into the annealing oven,
So we'll let that sit a couple
upside down,
So,
and oh, hi, Victor. How are you? It's good to see you, or good to hear from you.
so I think I'll quit talking. I'm interacting with the guys. I had a moment when I didn't pay attention. I should have kept that in the heat warm. What you just saw is a perfect example of thermal shock. The glass went in at a temperature that was too low to take the shock of going into that glory hole. And that's exactly the kind of shock that would happen to your drinking glasses if you put hot coffee in them. That's why we tell you, hand wash in warm water, don't use hot liquids. Mine was a simple error where I happened to put it in there while I should have been back to the glory hole 15, 20 seconds earlier rather than messing around. So we put on our serious face.
That's no fun. So, while we're waiting for that bottle to heat up, that bottle needs to saturate with heat from the 900 degree temperature in the annealing oven. Our live streaming event this morning with Bruce's opening up the beer bottle, and you saw the Optic tumbler with the yellow lip wrap. We've covered all of these pieces during most of the demonstrations. We have the Rondelles. The Rondelles, they retail for $60 a piece. We have the straight optic. We have the diamond optic. These happen to be in, well, the diamond optic happens to be in purple, and then we have in purple the optic swirl. The straight optic is in a cranberry. They all have, and they're all available for purchase, whether you take the ones that you see here, or if you wanted to choose other colors. And you saw Josh do one with 3 different colors of gradation. Josh, or excuse me, Bruce.
While we're waiting on that other bottle to warm up, this is what the red stripe looks like. Now, they no longer make their beer bottles with an enameled label. It's probably cost much more, but I made a ton of these, and I do not highly recommend. Well, actually, red stripe is nice on a hot summer day, but one I like even better is Rolling Rock, which I believe still makes an enameled label.
Still enameled.
Yeah, so this is a Rolling Rock, but you can see they're different size glasses and stuff, but they're fun to play with and goof around. So we just needed another minute or two to let the backup bottle warm up, and then we'll try it again.
And you could see the panels in those bottles. So we're going to try this again in a few more minutes. But let's go ahead and cover the pieces that we have available for you to either purchase or place orders from. We have 2 pieces, the bubble optic pieces, the basket and the cylinder that are Todd's. We've got the waffle pattern in a white. Those are made, that pattern comes from an optic mold that has ball bearings in them. We've got the 3 pieces here in the green, the cranberry pink, and the teal green. Those are straight optics. And those are Josh's. Here we have Bruce's paneled pieces. And you know now how those have been produced, watching the straight optics go in, twisting them up, opening them up once they've been turned around slightly onto the pontil iron, and the lip wrap being applied, and then over the fin mold to open them up. We have, back to some of Todd's pieces, we have the Fishnet Pattern in the purple bowl, the cobalt blue in the narrow neck vase. We've got, and then we have two of the twisted pieces that have been produced by Todd. And David Hogan, there's your pumpkin that you won from being with us last week. And whoever the winner is this week, we have the cobalt blue bubble optic bowl with the scalloped mouth. We hope that you're enjoying this episode of being with us at the Art of Fire live streaming as much as we are. And again, we're going to have Bruce.
We're going to try it again.
We're going to try it again.
You can see we had one earlier that broke. When I first started doing these, we had lots of bottle glass on the floor. I will say that we cannot recycle that. It has a different, what's called a coefficient of expansion. We cannot mix it with our regular glass. So we couldn't put any of our colors on it or do anything like that. If this one doesn't work, I have some more of the stone brewing bottles at home. I'll bring them back for another week. We'll let you off the hook after this.
Okay, so Bruce is going to get another gather of clear glass. We're going to go ahead and attempt this again. He's going to take that clear glass on the solid punty pipe, cool it and shape it on the marvering table. Then he's going to come back to the glory hole and saturate it with heat. And quite a bit of this heat that's in the glass on the end of the punty pipe will translate or transfer into the bottom of the beer bottle that we just put in after our unfortunate accident with the first piece that was introduced. So Bruce is trying to target that and center it. He's going to bring it out and come to the glory hole. There we go. Now, Bruce, you have to pay attention to what you're doing and let me struggle through this. Oh, you got that really nicely centered, my friend.
For this, we don't blow out the neck. This will not be a tall drinking glass. I have to remove the neck. First step is to cut a jack line in the glass. I'm going to take a reheat, then I'm going to chill it with my shears, and Josh is going to take a tweezer to cap it off.
Is there a button that does close-ups? No, you just have to come in. Okay. All right, so as Bruce was saying, he started an indentation with the jacks, which we refer to as the neckline. And he's using the combination shears to chill that indentation.
Sorry.
Josh used the end of a pair of pincers hit that where Josh was holding it with the shears, and he had picked up both ends of the pipe off the arms of the bench. That way, when the piece is knocked off, that percussion is not transferred through to the punty.
See, they wonder how I got glass in my shoe last week.
Bottle glass is made to set up or get cold very fast. You can go online and see videos of beer bottles being made. They pour it into a mold and it solidifies almost immediately, which means you have very little working time. Obviously, in a bottle making factory, they don't want to waste time working. You want to get her done.
That's right, get her done.
Hey, I do know that saying.
All right. Thank you for all the hearts and thumbs, and Bruce has pretty much got this piece of glass nicely opened up with the proper profile. He's getting his calipers to measure. Does that look pretty good to you? Or are you going to go one more?
Just a little more, because I don't want it to bulge too much down the side. Think I'm all right? Yeah. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to heat this up, plunge it onto the thin mold, this smaller gold one we have here.
And that's going to happen right now, folks. So we got Bruce coming over. And watch as it takes its paneled fin profile. That was great, Bruce. That was absolutely terrific, watching that glass stretch between those panels. Very nice. And you can still see the enameling that was originally put onto the bottle. It did not break off. From Stone Beer, thank you very much for your donation. He put water onto the bottom of that pontoon iron, hit that pipe, and it has come off. It's now in the annealing oven, and yay, that was excellent, Bruce. Thank you so much.
So I would like to tell you one thing about this piece of equipment. Josh had this mold made. We were making them on the larger mold, which was really great for bigger bottles. But then we started getting the Rolling Rock, and I had the Stone Brewing, and it wouldn't fit. So we actually broke apart a beer bottle, the long neck beer bottle, and took the measurement so that they would fit this bin perfectly. So that's how this thing came into being. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Take it back? Okay. So there you have it. You finally saw Bruce blow glass. He really does. Okay, so there you pretty much have it for today, and a quick little review and maybe a comment or two, since I have been off the microphone for how many minutes now? I can't stand it. Okay, so we saw that beautiful Fishnet Bowl by Josh. Then he did the diamond-shaped diamond Optic Rondelle, a bubble vase. I did you the Optic tumbler with a fin mold and lip wrap, and then my question mark and the Mysterian piece, which was simply a beer bottle. Okay, so that's what we've done today. Again, I'm not going to go over the prices individually, but can I do a bottle from a Delirium Tremens? Yeah, probably so, but I don't know if they have an enameled label on them. Plus, we don't import a lot of beer here. We drink it. I have it home, but anyway, let's get back to the price list and get me off of that subject. So there we go. Planters, Rondelles, Twisted Optics, Fishnet, the fin mold tumblers, and others. So we'll just start at the top right here. These are our Rondelles. Here's a beautiful twisted optic one. Here's one made with the diamond optics, just like that beautiful sunburst one Josh made earlier. I'll turn this one a little to the side so you can see the beautiful straight pattern of the optic spun out. Here's an example of diamond optic work where it hasn't been bubbles added to it or anything, and it really is a diamond pattern. When we take that and put it in more glass after creating those recesses, we get the bubbles to form, just like this one here. And this lonely little aventurine planter right here actually does have straight optics in it. So everything's fitting the design for the day. Over here we have the twisted optic bowl and vase. And here is the fishnet pattern. Once more from the side for the beautiful blue fishnet vase. That's a really great pattern. We have 3 of our straight optic pieces, so called because the lines run straight down. We've got lime green, teal, and rose. Back here is a honeycomb pattern in white, and this is bubble optics made into the shape of a purse and also a tall vase. These are the octagonal molds that drinking glasses I made, and I just have a lot of fun doing them. I actually made the straight clear ones for my daughter-in-law who doesn't want the optics quite as much. And I like the optics in it because of the texture it gives. But at any rate, and I don't have a favorite color. So I usually use red, orange, yellow, green, and blue, which is really pretty simple-minded. Okay, so next week we're going to have scary glass, okay? And let's see, let's go once more. This is one by David Hogan this week. And this one here is the bubble optic. Going to pick it up again. It goes up much better when you can see it with light going through it. And so thank you for all the comments. Please remember to share, because the event and Theta's posts for next week, okay? And that will get us more viewership and more people enjoying glass and all the silly jokes. So thank you so much from the Art of Fire. Have a great week. We'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.